we go. Brighten it up, sharpen it up. There we go. Okay, we're a little introduction. We are at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center here in West Palm Beach, Florida. And here, let me try this. Maybe a little bit better. No, not really. No, we're going to leave it like that. That's good. Yeah. My name is Jorge Flores, and I'm the Executive Director for the Children's Coalition Incorporated. Okay, and we're here today interviewing Mr. Jorge Flores, right? And Jorge, let's see, what is your birthday?
17 September 1974.
Okay, and what is your current address?
5050 Madison Road, Delray Beach, Florida, 33484.
Okay, and what branch of the service were you in?
I was in the U.S. Army from 1994 to 1999. 1999 went back to the U.S. Coast Guard to 2010. Total 16 years.
Wow. Okay. All right. Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted voluntarily.
Okay. All right. Why did you pick that branch of the service?
I come from a military family, and I thought the Army was the first choice for me to follow. And since I was a kid, I always wanted to be in the military, follow the family footsteps.
Okay. All right. Where were you when you joined?
Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. All right. And after you got through all your paperwork, what was the next part of the process?
After I got all the paperwork done, basically they put 30-day holdover, or 30-day waiting period. I can't remember how it's called. After 30 days, you get shipped. I couldn't speak English at the time, so they sent me to DLI school in Lackland. It was Air Force Base in Lackland, Texas. So I went there for 6 months to just learn English before I can actually join the Army. So it's an Army school for English. If you pass the English test, then you will go to basic training.
Okay. What were you doing just before you went into service?
I was, actually it was my first semester in college and I dropped out.
Okay. What were you studying at the time?
I was going for business administration, but I didn't really, I started doing my first semester and I never finished it up. I dropped out.
Okay. Where were you going to school?
Inter-American University on San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Okay. Well, what was Puerto Rico like growing up?
I grew up like kind of like a low class, I would say childhood. So it was pretty rough, a lot of crime everywhere. I mean, it's a beautiful island, beautiful people, but it's just full of crime. So it was pretty tough when I was a kid.
Okay. Okay, George. So after you went to school for 6 months in Texas on the Air Force Base, that's where I went to basic training. Where did you go after that?
From the DLAM school, they sent me to Fort Oklahoma for the week of indoctrination. From there to the basic training for Leonard, Missouri. And then from there, I went straight to airborne school on Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay, what kind of school?
Fort Benning.
What kind of
airborne school?
Airborne. Gotcha.
So I did basically my basic training on Missouri, followed back to back with my AIT, which is the school that you go for. It was called MOS.
Gotcha. Okay, so how long were you in airborne school?
It was a 3-week course, 21 days.
And what was that all about?
Basically, you run around, learn the basics of the parachute, how to put it on. You do a lot of, learn the basics of landing. And then from there, you have to do 5 jumps out of plane. They were static line jumps, and once you do those 5 jumps, you graduate, and then they will send you either to airborne unit or you just hold the patch.
Okay. All right. So what were the instructors like?
Actually, the instructor they were pretty good. I can tell for what I can remember, that was back in 1994. They were, I would say, the old school military. They were just over their 15-year mark on the military, which I believe is a different breed. So they were pretty knowledgeable. They were, they encouraged the guys to go through the school. They have a lot of knowledge. I had a great time. I think the instructors were well prepared for what they were doing.
How was the food?
I'm sorry?
How was the food?
The food was good. I love the military food. It's actually pretty good.
Okay. All right. So you were there for 3 weeks. Did you get any R&R time while you were there?
You get after the second week, you get time off on the weekends.
Yeah.
After the second week, and then on the third week, then you're out.
Okay. So where did you go after that?
From there, they actually sent me to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And from there, that was my duty station.
That was okay. Yeah. How long were you stationed there?
My whole entire career. I was there, well, actually, my whole entire Army career.
Gotcha.
From 1995, when I got there, I was a whole year on training. From 94 to 95, I was on training. And then in 1995, I went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And I was there all the way to 1999.
Okay. All right. All right. So tell me about your 4 years. I mean, were you deployed anywhere? Did you?
Yeah, no. I actually there were 5, 94 to 99, and they were all for North Carolina. I got deployed a lot. I was deployed San Domingo, South America, California, Mexico. My home base was Fort Bragg. I started as a 37 engineer combat airborne battalion. It was the only engineer airborne battalion that at the time was airborne. If I can, it wasn't like a regular airborne unit, it's just the only engineer airborne unit at the time. While I was there, I had a great time, a lot of friends. I still couldn't speak English, so I have good leaders on me that they pretty much taught me a little bit of English for my first 2 years. And then from there I went to SFAS, which is a Special Forces Assessment Course. It was 21 days, kind of like a test. If you pass, then you can go to a Special Forces School.
Right. Okay. Okay. Did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I did. You were in Special Forces?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't know about those guys.
Well, I went to, it's actually a 3-week, it's 21 days, kind of like a test called Special Forces Assessment Course. If you pass, then they give you what they call the Q course. They give you an MOS, and then you go from there.
Okay. Okay, I want to do a little a timeline here. So, after you got to your duty station, how long were you in Fort Bragg before you joined Special Forces?
I didn't actually end up all the way through. I went from 1994, I believe I was 1995. I went in time 1995 to the end of 1996. You have to be an E4 promotable to go to SFAS.
Okay.
I think now you can go as a PFC, but back at the time you have to be E4 promotable.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You said, when did you go into service? What year?
1994. It was February 1994.
And you separated 16 years later in?
Yes, I did now to Army until 1999.
2010?
2010. February 18, 2010.
Gotcha.
But I was on the Coast Guard. I switched services. I went from the Army
to the Coast Guard.
Into the Coast Guard.
Okay, that's fine. What month in 1994?
February 1994.
Oh, February to February. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right.
February 1994 to December 1999.
Gotcha.
And then right there, I laddered to the Coast Guard.
After 1999, you went to Coast Guard?
Mm-hmm. Until 2010.
Oh, until 2010?
Yes.
For another 10 years?
Yes. So I did a total of 16 years.
Coast Guard, gotcha. 1999 to 2010. Got it. Okay. All right. So, Over the 4-year period, tell me about these deployments and your training, and how was the food at Fort Bragg? Let's start there.
The food Fort Bragg, I love it. Actually, you can eat all you want. I couldn't wait to go every morning and just have breakfast. You can have as many bagels as you want, as many scrambled eggs, sausage. It was the same food every day.
Yeah.
Basically, one day they will do the Monday through Sunday they will have the same menu. But I think the cooks did a good job. I love the food.
Okay.
It was free and all you can eat.
How did you stay in touch with your family while you were gone?
At the beginning, the first year, they will give us like after a few weeks, few months, you can call. So you buy like calling cards. So you call your family, and it's a week, it's 10, 15 minutes or whatever. And then after that, when I got stationed, I was able to put a landline on my barracks.
Right. Okay. All right. So, where was the first place that you deployed to?
First place I deployed to was San Domingo, San Isidro.
Where's that at?
It's Dominican Republic.
Okay. And what did you do there? What was it?
We actually were to like a cross training with the Special Forces for San Domingo, and that's when I got my foreign wings. We did like they were doing hello, we would do static lines. So it was kind of like a cross training, teaching each other how the states do things, how they do things, different units. I was there for I think like 6 months.
Okay. All right. And how was it? Were you always outside?
On the way there, I had a good time. Because we would go to work, but you have a lot of time off. And it's a foreign country, different country. I mean, I'm Hispanic. That's an Hispanic country. Beautiful women, food is... So it was great times. I think, out of my whole entire reserve, my whole entire in the Army, I think that was my best deployment.
Huh?
Out of my whole
Best
entire
time?
Army, best time.
Yeah.
Best deployment.
Okay. All right. Where was the next place you deployed to?
Next place, I went to La Mesa County, California.
What part of California is that in?
La Mesa County, California. That's on San Diego, close to San Diego, California. It's La Mesa County.
South end.
Yes, it's right there on San Diego.
Yeah.
So we were there on the border with local authorities working on building a shooting range. Right there next to the border. For the sheriff department, the DEA, all those guys to train. So it was just helping. As an engineer at the time, you do engineer, you just don't do explosive. You do also construction, survey, soil test.
Right.
You do a little bit more than just what they call combat engineering.
Right. Okay. How long were you there?
Over there, my first deployment there was for a week. And the second deployment was back to back. I think it was for 3 months, if I'm not mistaken.
3 months?
3 to 4 months.
Okay. And did you get the R&R time in while you were out there for 3 months?
I love it. I used to go across Mexico all the time. You used to be able to go back then.
Yeah.
And California, especially San Diego, is a military town as well. So Virginia. So there's a whole bunch of Navy and Marines. I was stationed on Navy base when I was there for over 3 months. I had a great time. I mean, I went over there with a great group of guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had a great time. I love it. My whole entire time in the service was good. I don't regret nothing.
Right. Okay. Where was the next deployment to?
Next deployment from there, Texas.
Where in Texas?
San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, okay. Still near Lackland Air Force Base.
Yes, kind of like back to Lackland Air Force Base, but it wasn't Lackland. It was in San Antonio. Over there, we also went to build a shooting range for local authorities.
Okay, okay. And how long were you there at that time?
Over there, I think I was there for a month.
A month?
It was good, different environment, different people, but at the same time, the good thing is you have all the amenities on the States, and you can go on the other side of the border and have fun and things like that. It was good times.
Okay. And so where'd you go next?
From there, I went to my own country, Puerto Rico. I was there for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
2 weeks, so it was good. But I with my family and just for training.
So, okay, just for 2 weeks. So, besides your deployments, When you went on R&R, when you took your leave, would you go on leave?
While I was in the Army, when I went on leave, I was still homesick, so I would go back home. Visit my mom, my dad. I was on I don't know, for some reason, when I left home, I never want to be home. And when I left home, I kind of want to go back.
Right.
So every time I would take leave, I would go back home.
Gotcha.
I didn't take that much leave while I was in the Army. When I got out of the Army, I had 90 days saved. I was allowed to save 30 days a year, so for 3 years, basically, I didn't take leave. So I just took basically 60 days on a 5-year period.
Right. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So, did you ever see any combat?
No, not combat. What they call combat. When I was on the special units, I did a lot of ground enforcement and magnum operations.
Really?
That was my job, basically.
Were there any? Did you have any service-related injuries, or did
yes,
you?
I do. I have a TBI 40%, according to the books, and I have left knee, right knee, and lower back is 80%. They break it into their own little scale pay.
And what were you injured?
Yeah.
What
I was
happened?
on Colombia, and I was doing
Colombia. When did we go to Colombia? I missed that one.
Yes, because remember, I've been 16 years. We talked for the first 4 deployments.
Okay.
But then after that, I went to Colombia, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Mexico, back to San Domingo, Jamaica, Aruba, and I'm not going in order. I know the Colombia will go back. Colombia will go like once a month.
Well, okay. Tell me about some of the I won't usually ask for 2, but now that I've discovered that you've done all of this travel, give me some of your memorable experiences from these other deployments.
Yeah, I would say the main ones that I'm proud of it, and actually I always carry a picture with me on my phone, and I have a big picture on my house, was I would say Colombia. I have 2 big memories. First one was in Colombia. I was the actually boarding officer for a 6-man team, and we actually took 41 pounds of cocaine. It was a big case, and we actually seized that. The reason I remembered that was because we have intel. We were waiting on this, it was a fast boat, passing the drugs from a fast boat on the Colombian border into a fishing vessel. We already knew what they were going to do through intel. We just waited there. We already know we see the drugs going into the fishing vessel, and we have to wait next to this boat 2 days, right next to the boat, until we get an SNO, which is a statement of non-obligation by the United States. With that statement, they were allowed to jump in the boat, and I was impressed the way these people hide their drugs. I never seen so much drug in my life. Dealing with these 6 people, crew members that were on that boat, it was a different experience, and that I will take with me for the rest of my life.
Okay.
So I think that was the best one. The second one was a migrant experience, which was 101 migrants. They all got rowdy. For some reason, it wasn't a patrol boat. They want to call this migrant. It was a buoy tender. As you know, a buoy tender do not use law enforcement or elite units. They're just people that fix buoys. And this 101 migrants went on board. They got rowdy. They didn't know how to control it. And the closest Spanish speaker, boarding officer at the time, was me. So they flew me from Costa Rica into this buoy tender, and I have to take control of the situation. It got a little crazy, but that's the same experience that I will remember for the rest of my life.
Okay. Tell me, what do you mean by the situation got crazy?
Well, the American, there's this protocol. So for these people, for breakfast, they will get like a little bowl of oatmeal. For lunch, they will get 2 cups of rice and half a cup of beans, black beans. And the same thing for lunch, for dinner. After a while, after 3 or 4 days, these people will start getting mad. They expect that they need to get filet mignon. So these people start getting mad, and they ask for a little water and sugar, because they're poor people over there. They drink water and sugar. They fulfill themselves. there's not that much, I would say, food, I guess. And so these people start getting rowdy. They start asking for the rights and all these things, I guess, that they believe they have. They do have some rights, but at the same time, it's a protocol that you have to follow. And that's what those people, the officers were doing at the time. These people got rowdy. They wake up, they're hurting themselves, they want to defy the crew. And so I have to jump in and just do the whole training that you go through to assess the situation. So it was.
And these were who, the prisoners, or?
Some of these people were prisoners, some of them were just regular people. It was 101 people from different type of smuggling, I would say, crews. There's three times they get smuggler, bring these people on fast boats. That's when they pay $10,000 to bring a smuggler. To bring illegal alien to the United States through the smugglers.
Right.
The other one is when they do their own little boat with their own engine. And I would say that's the only two ways that they come to the United States.
Right.
So there's two different types. There's the one that for better life, and you have the people here that pay for them to come over.
Right, right. Okay, so how long did you do that?
I did that for 5 years. 6 years, actually.
Now, was that in the Army or in the Coast Guard?
That was in the Coast Guard.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was on a unit. First, I was stationed on Alvarado, which is right on the Keys.
Yes.
A lot of migrants come through there, and that was my first few years. I was learning with migrants. Then I went Coast Guard Quarterback up on Virginia. Now that's a patrol boat.
Yeah.
A patrol boat, you do a lot of drugs, and that's what you do. You do drugs and migrants. You patrol the South Central America, and you just stop migrants and drugs.
Wow. All right. Okay. Very interesting. Were there any casualties? I mean, you got hurt.
Yeah, there's always casualty.
Yeah.
My injury was walking into one of those fishing vessels. I was walking into one of those rooms and I got hit with an object. I cannot tell if it was a baseball bat, a piece of wood, a pipe. I got blacked out. And that was it. And,
Somebody hit you?
Yeah, I got hit right here. And they do massive fascial surgery, which is from the inside out. I have 3 metal plates here, and then all the other things that go with it. My legs, because they're jumping out of plane all the time, you hit like a rock. Eventually, your knees start breaking down. Same thing with your lower back.
Okay. And what about your? Did you see other casualties? Were there a lot of people in your unit that were casualties?
Yeah, there's a lot of casualties that for me are normal. Maybe for somebody from the outside, they're abnormal. I think, ligaments, knees, lower backs, those are normal casualties to me. And it happens a lot on an everyday basis. You see people, they hurt their knees or their backs. Those are the most common ones. Now, one like mine is not that common, but there is some of them.
Okay. Let's see. So you were never a prisoner of war or anything, though?
Never been a prisoner of war.
Okay.
Thanks God.
Right, exactly. Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Just the regular medals everybody gets, like Good Conduct Medal, ARCOM, achievement medals. That's about it. Commendation medal.
ARCOM?
I got 3 ARCOMs.
Okay. And what are those for?
One of them was for my job with the drug interdiction. The other one was for the migrants. The other one was for, I guess, for my time in the Army. Okay. They just put a whole bunch of things in a paragraph and then just give you an ARCOM if you deserve it.
Okay. Okay. We did well. Okay. Did you always have all the supplies that you needed?
What do you mean, all the supplies?
Did you have everything that you needed while you were in the Army and the Coast Guard?
Of course. Yeah, there's always full supply. I think the government spent a lot of money on each soldier.
Now, I'm curious. I really don't know that much about the Coast Guard. That was a full-time job, though, right?
It is a full-time job, yes. Actually, believe it or not,
And we didn't talk about that really. I mean, what made you go into the Coast Guard?
Army, I love the Army, and don't get me wrong, I have great experience, I have great training, but I was looking for a future, and I'm thinking, I've been in the Army 5 years, and I feel I'm burned out. I'm not happy. I'm happy with my military career, but I'm not happy with my personal life. Then I've seen all these guys drinking, getting drunk, depression, and believe it or not, just the type of life, if you're weak, push you to do those things. I'm not saying that is right, I'm just saying if you're weak of mind, it will push you to alcoholism, depression, and all these things. So I started noticing those things, and at the same time I started noticing I was getting burned out. But at the same time, I love the service, and I think it's a great career. And I want to make a change. I met a gentleman that was in the Coast Guard one time when I was on leave, and he made me say, you know what, my service time got done. Now I can either sign back to the unit, get a $60,000 bonus, which was offered to me at the time. They multiply that times the years you sign, or I can switch services. So I decided to switch services, and I don't regret it because the Coast Guard, I think, is more family oriented, and it's more like a professional job when it comes to like a job. Military, you're more like training. You don't perform as much. Coast Guard, you're actually performing on a daily basis a job. You do train, but you perform a job.
Okay. All right. Okay, so those were the Coast Guard involved, the immigrants, and the other piece, which was
the drug interdiction.
The what?
Drugs.
Right. Were you working directly with the DEA?
Yeah, I worked sometimes with the DEA. I work with U.S. Customs on the Keys. I work on a daily basis with Border Patrol, CBP.
What does CBP stand for?
It's U.S. Customs and Border Patrol.
Customs, okay.
Yes, and I don't know exactly, Customs and Border Patrol.
Gotcha, okay, yeah. All right, so, let's see. Okay, we covered a lot of ground. We really did. We talked about where you went on leave, where you traveled in the service, and okay. So, what did you think of officers or your fellow soldiers?
Officers, sometimes I'll put these on my own words with a lot of respect. I think some of the officers were very well knowledgeable. I think some of them, they just come from school.
Right.
And then telling somebody who's been on the service 10 years what to do without the knowledge.
Right.
You have to respect them because it's a chain of command you have to follow. But do I believe that they knew what they were doing? I don't think so, Lord. At the same time, there is a chain of command that we need to follow.
Okay.
But some of the officers were great. Now, some officers came out of school with no knowledge, so they will take from the enlisted the knowledge, and then they will become better officers, I think.
All right. Okay, so where were you towards the end of, where were you when you separated from the Army?
Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Okay, and then, so what happened in between?
I have some time off. I would say like I said, I have like 90 days to leave the time. So you cannot take 90 days at a time. I had to sell 30, and they give me 60, and then I laddered into the Coast Guard.
Okay, and where did you do that?
Actually, I was in Puerto Rico. I went back to Puerto Rico homesick, and then I went to the Coast Guard.
I should have known.
I know, but to my surprise, once I joined the Coast Guard, I wasn't homesick anymore. My life changed drastically. I felt like my job wasn't stressful, even if it was, but I was more freedom. I had more life on connection with the real world. When I was in the Army, I didn't have no connection basically with the real world. I was in a military town, a military base, training, everything was military. On my days off, I would go for a 12-mile road march. When I was in the Army. When I was in the Coast Guard, on my day off, we would go to the local gym, or go to the movies and things like that. So it's more like a regular life.
Where did you say you would go? In the military? I mean, in the Army, on your days off?
When I was in the Army, on my day off, I would go for a 12-mile road march.
What is that?
You just put a bag on your back with 85 pounds and you just walk 12 miles.
Oh my God.
That was my day off. Now, on my day off from the Coast Guard, I would go to the movies, I would go to a local gym, I would have more outside local activities, civilian activities, I would say. That's what I think I was able to do the transition, and then I didn't feel homesick and have to go home.
Right.
When I leave, I would go to different countries and enjoy different countries.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah, speaking of which, pressure and stress, how did you deal with all your pressure and stress?
I think the Army gave me the basis to learn with this stress when I was in the Coast Guard. And maybe when I joined the Army, I was younger. I was a wild animal. Well, not a wild animal, but a wild person. And so it gave me the basics. When I switched, I was already trained through the system. So I didn't feel the pressure anymore. I would feel the pressure of something needs to get done. I need to follow the rules. I need to do this. I need to do that. But I was already, I would say, trained by the Army. So I think the Army gave me the base of everything.
Right.
Through my entire career and on my personal life to these days.
Okay. Cool. So, where were you when you were coming up on separating from the Coast Guard?
When I separated the Coast Guard, I was from Virginia. It was Portsmouth, Virginia. Last year was a Coast Guard Quarterback.
Right. And what were you thinking about doing? How old were you now?
Right now, I'm
2010. 2010.
Oh, 2010. I was 36.
See, 39 now?
Yeah, I'll be 39 on September 17th.
Okay.
I was 36 years old.
So you had 16 years under your belt, right? So what were you thinking about doing now?
I was getting out and I was putting Blackwater and Dynacorp. Those are private military companies. Because when I was on the service, we went through a lot of training and we worked together with Blackwater. So I was thinking, well, let me go to Blackwater, Dynacorp, who takes me first.
What is Blackwater?
They're private military companies.
Oh.
They take military like ourselves and they give them better salaries. So a lot of people get off the service and go and work for private companies.
So how long did you do that?
No, I didn't. I applied for it, and I had to go and do my regular physical when I came to Florida. But at the same time, I have another 60-something days of leave, so I took 30. And before I got out, I came to Florida, and I started working on my time off.
Doing what?
I was selling chemicals.
Chemicals?
Yeah, I have family members that own a chemical company, so I came down here and I said, let me try, because I can't be without doing nothing, I have to be proactive. So I got out here on my 30-day vacation, I didn't want to enjoy, I was scared.
Right.
I'll be honest with you, I've been on the service for so long that I'm scared to go out. It's like I've never been in jail, but for what I hear, I have read, when you get this word called institutionalized. So I was institutionalized through the service.
Right.
I didn't know what to do, even though I have a bachelor's degree due to the service, I didn't know what to do. I was scared, so let me work, figure out what to do. And I worked for chemical companies selling chemicals, and then when I got out of the service, I already knew what I wanted to do.
Right. Okay. So, all right, so what did you do after that? So this is what you've been doing since then?
I got out, I came down here, started selling chemicals for about a year, and then I figured out that I would open a company of my own.
Wow.
So I opened a company of my own, and now I own the company. I don't work for it anymore.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, we got a few more questions. Yeah, obviously you do belong to one or two veterans organizations, I guess.
Yes.
82nd Airborne.
Yes, I belong just to the 82nd Airborne this time. When I got out, I didn't want to be, I just wanted some time alone. And, but then you start realizing you miss this part of you that is not there anymore. And it's hard to deal with society. Like, when you get out, you're so used to do some things, and then your whole life change from one day to another. It's a little bit hard. And it's something that I cannot explain. I think you have to live it. But the best way I can explain it is you find a different world. You find a real jungle. You know, on the Army or the Coast Guard, you prepare a war, you go to the jungle and fight. But when you're home, you're safe. When you're here on civilian work, this is the jungle. This is where you gotta fight. There's a lot of different personalities. People don't have a protocol. And I think that's the hardest part for me to deal with. If you tell me, I have an appointment at 5 and I show up at 5, and you're not there, automatically I get mad. Because I'm used to, even though it's little things, small things like that, I'm so used to that.
Yeah.
And then people eating a piece of gum and throw on the floor, or people just respecting all the people. It's different jungle. So it was hard for me to deal with society today. They still are. You know?
Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
Can you please ask the question again?
Sure. Your military experience, all right, after you went through that, okay, and I don't know, if you look back on it, okay, how did it influence your thinking about war or the military in general?
I'll be honest with you, military in general, I would recommend everybody go to the military. If I would be for the military, I'd be in jail or dead, because that's where I grew up, that's what I knew, and to me, do those things were normal. The military for me, give me the basis of who I am right now. Thanks to the military, I finished a career, I have a bachelor's degree. Thanks to the military, I own 2 successful businesses. Thanks to the military, I have what I have right now. So I am pro-military. War, 100% I'm pro-war. I don't believe on letting people run other countries. I believe on justice. I believe on do things right. And nobody else gonna do it. The United States does it. So I believe on that. I'm not saying I want to go there, but you know what? No, I'll take that back. I will go there if I have to.
Okay. All right. All right, well, on that note, how did your service and experiences affect your life?
In many ways. Like I have good things, there's bad things. Like right now I go to the mental health clinic, and they do a wonderful job over here in the hospital. I don't sleep at night. I have a trigger personality. Anger control, I would say management problems. I would say those things, I would not blame it to the military because you are who you are.
Right.
But at the same time, I would say those things, my military experience, have gotten me to do those things. There was one time I was drinking a lot. I stopped drinking, I don't drink anymore, thanks to the program of the military. But early on the interview, I say, when you are in this situation, when you're depressed, a lot of guys go for drinking, fighting, things like that, because that's all you do to escape where you are at the time. So I did that for a little while. Besides that, I have a lot more things to say about the military than bad things. I can't say nothing bad except for everything that is bad is I do it to myself.
All right, well, at any rate, do you feel like there's anything that you left out in the interview?
No, I think you asked me all the questions. All I can say is military is great. I have great experience. It got me to where I'm at right now. I recommend it to anybody. And that's it. Do you have any other question? I really don't.
Good. I just want to thank you for a wonderful, that was a great interview.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, thanks for your service.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.